rest whole day. Is that
That sounds wonderful. Did you get any presents or did you have any celebrations?
oh, oh yes, we I had my family holiday.
Oh, nice. Your family hosted. Did you have some dinner? Some nice
Yes,
food?
yes, we have a great dinner.
Okay, what did you have?
Oh, we have fried chicken. We have let me remember.
We
Yes,
had,
we
remember
had
your tenses. Yeah.
yes. Let me remember. We have a fried chicken. We have a um
Had.
like the grilled meat, the grilled meat, the fish, the chips, and so on. I cannot remember.
Mm. That sounds tasty. It sounds like a banquet. Lots of different kinds of foods. Lovely. Hyo, are you there?
Yes,
Okay, perfect. If you can, both of you, could you keep your cameras on, please, so I can see you both? Be wonderful. Perfect. So here I am Ellis. I am the teacher for this class, which is the IELTS class. I am English. I'm from England, but currently I live in Germany. So I'm in Germany right now during lockdown. And I will be here for a few months yet, I think. What about,
okay.
would you
I'm
like to
living in
introduce
Hanoi.
yourself? Perfect. Nice.
This year
And how old?
I'm 12. Yes,
Wow, excellent. You're 12 years old. So you're in
yep.
high school and this year, how are your studies going?
7.
Yes? So are your studies going well?
Uh,
How's school?
is normal.
Normal? Okay. And where in Hanoi do you live?
Yên Hoa.
Okay, very nice. And what else would you like to tell us?
I don't know. I don't
You
want to
don't know?
tell.
Do you have,
Yes.
you don't want to tell anything? Okay, that's fine. Do you have any questions for me before we start?
No.
Nope. Okay. Sing. Would you like to tell here a little bit about this class? So what how
Uh,
does it work? What do we learn?
Wow, it is a new. Hmm. Um, in that our class, well, we practice the speaking in 4 parts, and we will have to we will have to talk about each particular topic in each lesson, and we also have a homeworks.
Yeah. Not too much homework though, I hope. Not too much homework.
Yes, yes.
And so we're studying for IELTS speaking. Sing was right. There are parts to IELTS speaking, but in the lesson we generally cover 4 parts because we give homework as well. So the fourth part is the homework. Um, and I'll just show you now what an IELTS test looks like. Yo, do you know much about IELTS?
I don't know. I
Nothing?
I
Anything?
just know I
Doesn't
is can go to another country like free.
yes. Yes. So if you want to go to university or want to work in another country where an English speaking country, you are often required to do an IELTS test. And in IELTS you have reading, listening, writing, and speaking. So we're just covering the speaking part. And if you get a good score in your IELTS all round, you can get into a foreign university or um, you can get a job somewhere. For example, one of my students once he wanted to work in Australia. He was an adult, so he already had a job, but he wanted to pass his IELTS so he could take his family to Australia to work there. So there are many different reasons why studying IELTS is good. Oh, here's long. Is useful even. Many different reasons why IELTS is useful.
Okay, but I
I'm just
think I
going
don't
to
need.
show you. That's fine, but it's still good. It's useful to study it even if you don't want to go to a foreign university because the skills you learn are really quite excellent. It teaches you how to speak and communicate like a native, which is always nice to be able to speak fluently and coherently another language, whichever language it is you choose to learn. So IELTS is quite good for that, even if you never want to leave Vietnam. Hello, Long.
Hello.
How are
Hello,
you today?
teacher.
How are you today, Long?
Well, not bad.
Okay, that's great news. Chipper as always, full of energy. Okay, so I'm just showing you again. There are three parts to the IELTS. Part one, Long, it was homework about the IELTS, just the structure of it. I did give you it for homework to tell me a bit more about it. So, how long is the speaking test in total?
Give me a moment. Let me open my folder. Uh,
How long is it in total? Hyo, can you guess how long the speaking test is for IELTS in total? Just guess. Any number will do of minutes.
What can you say again?
Can you
I
guess
can't
how
hear.
many Can you guess how many minutes the speaking part of the IELTS test takes?
1 minute
1 minute, okay, cool.
or a
Quick
second,
guess.
like 40 second.
40 seconds for the whole speaking test. Okay, cool. I like
Oh,
that you gave it a
speaking.
go.
I think it's
Yes,
listening.
this is speaking.
Speaking. Okay. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. Long, can you tell me how long the whole test takes in total?
I'm pretty sure it's around 3 minutes or something. I think so.
Mm, okay,
Or
so we didn't do our homework then. Sing, can you remember?
Oh, there is 45 minutes.
4 to 5 for part one. So how many minutes in total
You mean
for
in
part one,
all,
2, and 3?
you mean all four parts, right?
Yes. All three parts.
Let me have a count. For maybe about 10 minutes. 10 to 15.
Yeah, so very close. It should take between 12 minutes for the whole test. Part one, 4 to 5. Part two, 3 to 4. Part three, 4 to 5. And part one, you have 11 questions, short short and sweet. And how many questions do you get? We've discussed this every lesson. Long, can you remember? It has been 2 weeks, so I will give you some leeway. Long, how many questions do you get in part one?
uh,
Sing, do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh no, it was your homework as well, guys. It was your homework. Okay, you get 11 questions in part one. You get 11 questions in part one. Part two, you get a card like this. The topic you must discuss. Okay, and you have 1 minute to prepare, usually, what you will say, and then you have 1 to 2 minutes to talk. And part three, you get less questions than part one, and it's discussion topics based on part two. So to ease us in, let's quickly look at part one, but today we're going to be focusing on part three, the discussion topics, where you'll have to give answers that are a little more detailed. Okay. So part one, short and sweet questions. You get asked about yourself, your home, work, or studies, or very familiar topics. Just generic questions about you and your life. Okay, let's start with Hiro. Are you there? Are you ready?
Mm, let me think.
Okay. Do you prefer to email, phone, or text your friends, and why?
No, I use Facebook Messenger.
Okay. So none of them. You can say none of those options. Yeah,
I
I
can.
use Facebook Messenger. Excellent. Okay, concise? No, because I use Facebook. All right. Yep. We can say actually to make that sound a bit better, you can lengthen it a bit to say exactly the same, but still make it short and sweet. Actually, I use Facebook instead. There we go. We've got some fabulous there. All right. Sing.
Yes.
Do you reply to emails and messages as soon as you receive them?
Oh, I it depend on when the emails and the messages are sent to me.
Okay, yeah, the messages. Yeah, it depends on when they're sent to me. Great. Long. Are
Yes.
you happy to receive emails that are advertising things?
Well, personally, I don't really pay any mind to them, and I just ignore them. So, well, I'm it's mm, I'm neutral about it. I don't care if they
Yeah,
exist or not. As
I'm
long
neutral.
as it doesn't directly affect me, then I don't care.
Yeah, as long as they're not in the way, as long as I can get scroll past them, it's fine. Yeah, that was excellent. Your answer maybe a little bit long for part one. So that would be, you are a filler, long. You're a filler, you fill things. So for part one, you can say I don't really mind as long as they don't affect my online life. Okay, great. So we're going to look at part three, which I did. So we've already looked at all of the topics before. We've looked at all of the topics before. And we're going to look at part three questions because I've only given you part three for homework prior to this. Before we do that, though, let's look at the band descriptors. So when you're speaking, we look at 4 different things for your speaking. So we look at your fluency and coherence, how easy you are to understand. Do you repeat what you're trying to say or self correct yourself? Lexicon is your vocabulary. So your lexical resource is the vocabulary you use. Are you using varied and wonderful vocabulary in context? Be in context. So you can say something, but it might not make sense within what you're saying, what you're trying to say. Grammatical range and accuracy, so your grammar, and your pronunciation. For your pronunciation, you do not have to English, an American, or a Canadian accent. You don't. You can have a Vietnamese accent, that's fine. Not trying to take your accent away from you, that's where you're from. It's, are you pronouncing all of your words properly? Are you pronouncing the end sounds, the beginning sounds, the middle sounds pronounced correctly and being stressed correctly? That's what it means, not about your accent. Right, so let's have a little look at the part 3 questions. So we've got education here. So we can do an answer together. We can answer together first, model, see what vocabulary we can use, and we can put it together. I would like to do that today, the 4 of us working together. Okay. Some people say that your school days are the best days of your life. Do you agree? So what kind of question is it?
Uh, I think I don't
It's
agree with that.
You don't agree with it. So it's asking for your opinion.
Yes.
So it's an opinion question. So do you agree? No.
No.
Sing, do you agree?
Yes, maybe. I
Maybe.
partly agree. I partly agree with that.
Agree? No. Yes. Partly. Okay. So how else could we say no? What other vocabulary words could we use to say no? Long.
Don't agree.
I don't agree. Okay. I don't agree with that.
I
What
do
else
not
could we
believe in
use?
that.
I do not believe in that.
Maybe a bit of a stretch.
In that statement. Sing.
Oh, I I don't see the same view.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't hold the same opinion. Can say absolutely not. So see, there are many ways to improve your lexical resource by just thinking, what other things can I say that mean exactly the same but sound fancier? So absolutely not. I don't think so. I don't agree with that, really. I do not believe in that statement particularly. Okay, yeah. You can say absolutely. What else could you say? Yo, to say yes. Yes, I
I
think so.
agree.
Sorry?
I agree.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I completely agree. One thing that I'm going to mention here is that we're at a level now. We're at a level. So when you're younger and you're just learning, you have to repeat the question in your answer. But now we're so good at English that we don't have to repeat the question. Actually, you shouldn't repeat the question. Okay, so you don't. So I don't agree. I agree. You can say it, but it's kind of. So if I said I don't really agree that school days are the best days of my life, or of our lives, it's repeating the question. So we're wasting time on repeating it when we could just say something completely different but means exactly the same and sounds better. Long for yes?
No. Uh, Um, then
Any any other ways to say yes?
I believe that would be the case
Cert?
for me.
Yeah.
I believe
Okay.
that would be the case for me.
I believe that would be the case for me. And sing.
Uh, um, I let me. I hold the same opinion.
Yeah. Yes. So yes, I hold the same opinion. Okay, partly is also good. Sorry, I've just clicked that. Partly is also good. You kind of agree, but don't. So partly, yeah, partly, in part, partly, in part, kinda, yeah. On the one hand, you can go into say, on the one hand, and then on the other. On the one hand, yep, you have some good days, you don't have any responsibilities, but on the other hand, it's kind of a lot of work, it's pretty rubbish. I don't like being put under so much pressure by my teachers, by my parents, by my friends. Yeah. So that's arguing both sides. So let's go with no, because 2 out of 3 of us think no, and Sing, you're on the fence. So let's go with no. So I don't hold that opinion. No. Okay, so why, Long? Why are school not the best days of your life?
Well, my school days were just packed of studying, eating, and sleeping, and not a lot else.
Okay.
It was tremendously boring, thus making me look back to those memories with spice.
Not much else. Thus, it's, it has been tremendously boring. And so I feel I will, you're still at school now, Long. And so I feel I will look back on these days with spite. Or you can say with resentment. Resentment. So if you're looking in spite of something, spite maybe doesn't contextually fit as much. If you do something out of spite, it's kind of a mean thing you do because something else has happened that you don't like. So for example, I'm spiteful. So if I'm a spiteful person, I will do something mean to my friend who has hurt me in retaliation because I want them to feel bad too. So with resentment, maybe. Okay, that's great. That's great. And Hyo, you are still
Yes.
at school, all of you. So what could you say to end that? So you're still at school. So you could say, however, what could you say to end with? Something that it's kind of on the fence.
I think my school is like, however, I think my friend is good, but something in my school I don't like.
Yeah. Although I do have many friends at school. Well, I do have many friends at school. There are too many things I don't particularly enjoy. instead of like. I don't particularly enjoy. So you see how we've added particularly in there to spice it up a little bit. Like, enjoy, another word there. Okay, so there's your answer. You've got you've got an answer. I don't hold that opinion. So when we answer, we always answer, explain, give examples. My school life is just packed eating, sleeping, and studying with not much else. Thus, it has been tremendously boring. So your examples: eating, sleeping, and studying. Explain, it's boring. So you feel you look back on it with resentment. That's why you're explaining. And here's a nice conclusion as well there. Okay, so answer, explain, examples. We need a conclusion. I would like Long to look at question 2. Do you think school and university prepares young people adequately for real life? Hyo, do you think there is too much pressure on young people at school these days? I'd like you to prepare question 3. And Sing, some people argue that end of year exams should be replaced by continuous assessment. What do you think? So Sing,
Okay.
your question's asking you to compare. Your question is a comparison.
Okay.
I can't hear.
You can't hear? Hyo, can you leave class and come back? Maybe you can hear.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to prepare an answer. Dogs, jot down some good vocab words, your explanation.
Okay.
Can you hear now, Hyo?
Yes.
Okay, so you've got question 3. Okay, so it's your opinion.
Do you agree there is too much on young people at school this day?
So you have, I'm going to give you 3 days to prepare. 3 days. Minutes, sorry. To prepare, I want you to answer, explain, give examples like this. Jot down some good vocab words, some good lexicon, please, Hyo.
I think yes. I agree with that.
Okay, so I'm glad. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes from now to prepare. So write down some notes. So you have 3 minutes to prepare.
In this day we have many tests and student need to learn a lot like that.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going, so you need an answer. So yes and no. So
I think yes.
yeah, I
I,
think, okay.
absolutely.
Yeah. So there is absolutely too much pressure on students these days. And then you say examples. examples, exams, tests, parents. Okay, explain. Why does this cause pressure? Conclusion. How does this make you feel? What could change? So there's your structure for your preparing here. Okay, Long, have you got your answer? Do you think school and university prepares people adequately for real life?
Well, if I have to be honest here, I haven't really attended university yet, and I haven't exactly gotten far enough into school, so I can't really say for sure. But as far as I've seen, I probably have to say not really, since only the bare necessities have been taught. And yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, excellent. Great answer. Since the bare necessities have been taught, bare necessities, perfect. Bit of lexicon there. Have been taught, so that's all I can say, really. Excellent. And you've explained that you cannot give a full answer because you have never been to uni, nor have you finished school. So what Long's doing is he's using filler words. Well, to be honest, really, I'm not so sure. I don't know. Actually, probably, I'm guessing not. He's using filler words. He's taking a while, but using great vocab to answer the question, but not really answering it. And if you don't know the answer or you don't know what to say, that is a good skill to have. It is a good skill to have. You can also say, well, I don't know. Don't just say, I don't know. I don't know. You're not going to get good marks for that. But you can say, well, I don't know much about this or that. However, from my experience, this think. So you're not properly answering the question, but you are still answering it in context with what you know about the world around you. But try not to do that for every answer, because then I could think that you don't know what you don't know anything, you don't know the words. Okay. Sing.
Yes.
Some people argue that end of year exams should be replaced by continuous assessment. What do you think?
Oh, I don't hold that opinion. I believe that the continuous assessment can make students tired as they have to study constantly. They have to review the knowledge every day, and they will have no time to relax, to enjoy in the extracurricular activities, and they can't improve their mental health. And also the knowledge that they have obtained can be easy to forget, and students have to review them more con- more continuously, and all the information and lessons that they have learned just save into the short-term knowledge and short-term memory, and they can't remember for a long time. And also the end of year exams should be remained, as they provide students with a large range, a huge coverage of knowledge and lessons in the whole year, and they can review them in as short and informative as they can. And from the ideas mentioned above, I believe that we should not replace the end of year exams by continuous assessment.
Okay, excellent. Seeing you had a very, very, very well thought out answer there. So you mentioned different points, continuous stress. Another thing you could say by tired, you could say fatigue. Fatigue is a good vocab word. It's too fatiguing, too straining. You will be just so tired, fatigue. Should remain. So I believe that end of year exams should remain. That was really beautiful. Your structure was absolutely phenomenal. So well done. Yeah, Liz. You could also go with that answer saying you can compare. So, for example, instead of going completely all opinion, I think that they should, yes, it is asking your opinion. You are right, you gave it, so that's perfect. You can say, on hand, if we were to have continuous assessment, students would really just be so stressed, so fatigued, they wouldn't be able to enjoy their extracurricular activities for fear of missing out on some. But on the other, if people are continuously assessed, they have to learn less. End of year exam, you have just such a huge amount of knowledge to relearn and practice that it's so stressful. It puts too much pressure on the students and have mental health issues because of that. So you could say that. However, I think that end of year assessments are better just because I wouldn't personally want to be under the pressure of just constantly being assessed year round. So you can do it that way, where you're comparing in both. But that was a beautifully structured answer
Oh,
thing, and you did answer the question.
thank you.
Well done. And Hyo,
Yes.
do you think school and university prepares? Oh, wait. Do you agree there is too much pressure on young people at school these days?
Yes. I agree with that.
Okay, would you like to expand your answer?
I think now we have many tests and we need to learn more. I have I have uh, friends in university. She is always like sleep when 11 o'clock. It's really late, and she said she slept sleep late is uh like she study for the test.
Yeah, so you can say, yes, I agree. You're using your knowledge, the world around you, so you know that your friend just stays up so late because she's studying all of the time, and that's too much pressure. We need the pressure off. We don't need to be sleeping late all of the time to study. So good, well done. So your conclusion, how does that make you feel? Or what could change? So you can
What?
say, I believe. So for your conclusion, how would you conclude?
I feel like pressure,
Yeah.
and I think we need change uh, less test.
Yeah. So I believe there should be less tests because it's just too much pressure on all of us. We suffer mentally, physically. Our social life goes down the drain because we're always studying. Excellent.
I think we don't need like a genius.
Sorry? Sorry,
Nothing.
could okay. Okay. Let's look at health. Okay, Long. I'd like you to look at how can people be encouraged to stay healthy? Long, that question's for you. Sing.
Okay.
Do you think people have become more health conscious in recent years? It's for you. Hyo.
Yes.
Do you think people pay enough attention to their health today? Okay, so take a
No.
few minutes to prepare. Take 1 or 2 minutes to think of an answer, write down some vocabulary, and remember the structure. So, answer, explain.
I think it's no, because
So,
some people like smoking and have many rash chats in the freeway like and
junk food.
school junk food and have a drink like a sweet drink
Yeah,
and
sugary drinks.
like coca.
Okay, so those are
Some food will make in China,
mhm.
and when we eat it, we will have like a terrible stomach
Stomach.
ache.
Stomach
Yeah,
ache. Yeah. Okay, excellent. So, how else could you say I think no?
no,
Not really.
yeah, I think so because sometimes I see some couple running. Yep,
Mhm.
is my opinion.
Sometimes I see couples running. However, is too much junk food readily available. Many people, including children, consume large amounts of sugary drinks is terrible for your health, can cause and blood sugar. Mm, many adults in my country, especially, many adults smoke, which is very well known, very well known to cause cancer. Okay. Okay, so those are your examples. You're explaining how it's bad for you. So, in light of this, in knowing this, in light of this, I think people need to take way more precaution attention. They need to over their bodies, their general health. Their general health. Okay, so that's your conclusion to say no, not really.
I think it absolutely not really.
Yep, absolutely not. So you can have not really or absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Not. Mhm. Okay, perfect. So that was a good answer. You just need to flesh it out a bit. So fleshing it out with your explanations and your examples. So our examples, many people smoke. It causes cancer. Explanation of why it's not healthy. Okay, because you have to imagine I'm an alien from outer space. You're describing to me the obvious. I know that smoking causes cancer and is bad for your health, but you're not telling me the explanation, so I can't give you really good marks. Or, you know, some people might not know. Some people just might not.
Okay.
Although in this day and age, it's very unlikely that people wouldn't know. Okay, Long.
Yes.
How can people be encouraged to stay healthy?
Well, I'm well. Well, I think that the will to stay. Well, I think that the fear of death would normally be enough, but there are some cases where it isn't, and honestly, I don't exactly know any. Yeah,
You
I
do. You do know. Think of some reasons. Think of some basic reasons.
well, maybe out of spite or something like that. It's definitely possible.
So, yeah, they can be. So in Singapore, for example, you don't have to know this, but you can think it could be an obvious solution. You can make it up. You can make up a solution. So in Singapore, people can download apps, and if they are healthy, if it's linked to their watch or something, if they hit certain targets, they get money from the government. That encourages them to be healthy. If you got money for being healthy and staying active, would you be more healthy?
Yes, why not?
Long? Yeah, why not? Of course, I want free money. I'm gonna do 10 push-ups to get 20,000 dong. It's the easiest 20,000 I ever made. 10 push-ups. I'm gonna go on a run for 50k. I can buy myself such a lovely lunch for 50k. um, yeah, of course. Or education isn't long. You could educate people in school, or you can give them other things. So if they're healthy, then you know, I don't know, they might get free access to more gyms, for example. Or yeah, you can get free access to more gyms. That would encourage people to stay healthy. Anything you can think of, even if it's a wildly bizarre idea, as long as you give your ideas. So I'm going to go to Singh for his next question. And while Singh's answering his question, I'd like you to think of some ideas so we can answer the question in another way. Right?
Okay, so I'm completely agree that people have become more health conscious in recent years. You can see that there are many research and many efforts have been made to find out the cures for many diseases that we used to call it incurable and have a they and we have a many new ways to keep fit and healthy, and the food and have been like they have been cooked in a new way that is beneficial to our health, and there and the doctors have many new techniques technique that can uh, examine uh, and check our body so that whether we are in a good condition or not. And the awareness of the many people have improved. The smoking in my country have been greatly reduced. Many young people now wants to quit quit smoking or give up smoking, or they don't want to smoke anymore, and many of them want to take up sports to improve their health. And I think people have become more conscious about their health in recent years.
Excellent. So you give absolutely your answers are well thought out, Sing. So you have a brilliant structure. You give brilliant. It shows me that you have a great deal of knowledge in your head. That's great. So your structures and your answers are fabulous. You could have in that. There are many different vocabulary words that you could have substituted. So, for example, you use the word many. So, as many research doesn't quite work because it's unquantifiable. So, there is a lot of research. You can use a variety, a plethora. So, it'd be good to write these down, Sing. A plethora, a
Yes.
variety, a lot of, a great deal of, a generous amount. Yeah, a vast, a pool of research even. You can use any of these for a lot of different ways to say many.
Yes.
Okay, and great. Examine the pronunciation of examine. Another good thing you could have said. Doctors can examine us to determine our physical state and decide where we need to improve. Yeah.
Oh,
You can also say food science.
Oh,
Food science of our foods. Yeah, great. Another interesting point that might be nice for you guys is, especially in Vietnam. So Vietnam, an unhealthy country. There's not that much fast food. There is fast food. It's the country of fast food. But the fast food in Vietnam is healthy. People don't tend to have things like McDonald's as much. People tend to have pho or street food, which is generally quite healthy. So health is not a problem. So for Vietnam specifically, you can say actually health has never been that much of a problem, but now people are more aware of it. Whereas before, you could say it was a lot more unhealthy because there was so much poverty and so much war. So people could not take care of their nutrition. They couldn't look at the nutrition of food. There wasn't food readily available to a lot of Vietnamese. But now that we have the science and we're a developing country now, the war's over, the wars are over, there were many, we have the time to be healthy, to care about ourselves. So that's a night that you could just for your brain there. Long. Have you got your answer?
no. I still.
No?
No.
Okay, well, the lesson is coming to an end now, guys. So long, that is your homework.
Okay.
So how can people be encouraged to stay healthy?
Okay.
That down. Sing.
Okay.
Your homework is to tell me about the structure of the IELTS speaking test in detail. And I'd like you to tell me a little bit more about the 4 band descriptors. So lexical resource, pronunciation, fluency and coherence, and grammar. Yep.
Okay.
So that's your homework. So I want you to present to us that. And here,
Yes.
your homework. And I would like you to answer this. Describe an environmental problem that has occurred in your country. Okay. And you should speak 1 to 2 minutes. Okie dokes.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me when you've written it down, and then we can say Happy New Year to each other, guys. I hope you have a lovely time.
Oh.
I
Happy
need
New
to say
Year.
now or next class.
Oh, Kyo, for next class, it's your homework.
Okay.
So make sure you've written it down.
Okay.
Thank you, guys, and Happy New Year. I wish you all the best for the new year.
Yes. Thank you and Happy New Year.
Good.
Thank you. Happy
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, Long. Thank you.
Bye.
Good.
Yo, have you written down your homework? Yeah, okay.